right, guys, I am back and it has been a crazy couple of weeks, as you can probably tell by my voice. So I'm sorry for the long absent. Which, I mean, we all kind of know the story now, right? Just life is crazy and busy. And I'm not sure in what order these videos are gonna load. So I'm just gonna start telling you stories, and we're gonna make these little guys here because we're continuing on getting this pad of paper used up. So that said, here was the prototype, and here is the one that I actually want to make with you. So, all right, so what you'll need is your 12 by 12 pieces of paper or equivalent or whatever. I'll give you measurements, and I am going to be using my punch board, but if you have a good way of doing like handmade envelopes on your own, or you have that size, use those. If you have just white ones, then you know you can color them, that sort of thing. Somebody asked about my guillotine, and it is called a quartet. This thing is probably older than me. I don't know. I got it from one of my aunts years and years ago, probably like 15, no, longer than that, probably 20 years ago. It's, I don't know that it even is still even available. It's very, very well loved and very well used. And I'll do a video of the supplies that I like to use. About twice a year, I'll do a video like that. So, and I have some other cutters that I like using for different applications, but obviously if you're doing crafting on a budget or whatever the case may be, maybe you don't have a lot of space, you want to keep your, you know, supplies lower, whatever the case may be, I'll show you what I use, and hopefully maybe it'll coordinate into what you like to use. A lot of different crafters use a lot of different things, so it's going to be kind of what you like. So the punch board that I'm using is a We Are Memories Keeper envelope punch board. How you use these, I mean, I'll show you like a full, I guess this could be a tutorial too on it. But I want to make the gift card size, and so you have to start out with a 5 by 5 piece of paper, okay? And I'll show you what it means, because these boards can be confusing if you've never used them before. So yeah, let's just get started. I'm gonna cut 2 out of this color and then 1 out of the other. And so yeah, I'm gonna cut my squares at 5 by 5. So first, obviously cutting it down in this direction by 5 inches, and then, and honestly guys, if it is actually really important that you make them exactly, the paper the exact size that you're wanting if you're using their guides, because it gets kind of messy. And so yeah, so that would be my suggestion, is that you go ahead and make it exactly that, or as close to it as you possibly can. Okay, then out of this piece of paper, I'm using that as my background, so I'm going to cut it at, and I can't remember, 4 1/4 by 8 inches, because I want that to be the background. And I'll show you in just a second what we do with the other pieces here. Okay, so this particular piece is going to be, how I'm gluing it on is going to be a belly band, and it would go on your paper or your page like so, and then you would stick a card back here. And the way that we're gluing it on, and I haven't done anything with it yet, but you would stick like little tags, or you know, little pieces of paper or whatever back in there, so it really becomes 3 pockets, 6, and then 7 is what you could get in there by, or you could, I mean, you could absolutely do this as like a tuck too. You wouldn't necessarily need to do a belly band. It's one of those pieces that's going to be versatile onto whatever kind of journal you're making. And I actually just had another idea for that whole piece. So yeah, maybe I'll show it to you in a little bit. Anyways, okay, so 5x5 pieces of paper. If you look at the scoreboard, I'm going to be making the card size. So I want to start my first score at 2 inches, okay? Now this next part, after we do the first one, is super important, okay? And I'm going to stop and we're going to highlight it on purpose, okay? So I've made my score here, so I'm going to fold that over. And for video purposes, I'm going to throw a little ink there so you can see, okay? Okay, so we have this score line here. Now, if you do what I've done in the past, you would try to line it up again at the 2. That's not what you do with these punch boards. You bring this marker here, right up to there, and it ends up being just under 3 inches, and you punch again, and you score. And again, I'm gonna take this and ink it to where we can see it on camera. Okay. Then this one here does end up lining up with that 2-inch mark again, okay? And again, I'm gonna ink that so we know where it is. Then it's gonna be just under 3 inches again, okay? Okay, so like so. So, and then I use back on this side is like a thumb hole punch, or not thumb hole, corner rounder, like so. So yeah, there's that. And throw a little bit of ink on that to where we can see it again too, so you kind of get the gist of it, okay? Okay, so let's run through that again. My first punch and my first score is going to be at 2 inches. Okay, then just under 3 inches. At 2. Just under 3. Another kind of defining mark that you can tell that you have it about right is see how you can see the score line right there, and it kind of measures up with that. Okay, and I will tell you all the stories here in a minute. Let's get this third one done. Okay, so then it leaves you a little pile of divots here. So there we go. All right, so where I've been. Okay, so first I went on a little mini vacation and I met up with my little guy friend out in Nevada. And that was nice and peaceful and fun, and I haven't done something like that since I was like a kid, and I just had a heck of a good time. And he did say it was okay if I tell you what his name is. His name is Christian. And so we are exclusively dating, I guess, now. it kind of feels weird being 40, almost 46 and having a boyfriend. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty interesting for me. Lots of changes there, I guess. So, and he's very cute and he's very kind to me. So that has been a very refreshing difference from what I've been used to. So yeah. So that's where I was like June 30th through July 4th. And then I got home the evening of July 4th. And before I left, my boss had COVID and tested positive, but I hadn't really been around him a whole lot. So I was thinking that, you know, it would be okay. And while I was out in Nevada, I did not feel quite right, like Friday night, and then I just didn't feel good on Saturday, but I didn't think much of it. I was just like, whatever. I mean, I didn't have any of like the normal COVID symptoms at all. But then when I got home on Monday night, I was like, you know, I better test because I'm just not feeling quite right. So we've kept like home tests at home because of Bo and his work and having to test a lot and, you know, making sure that he's healthy going into work and whatnot. So I ended up testing positive. So I spent the next 4 days at home resting and going stir crazy. And then Gracie girl had a goat show last Saturday, which she did really well in. Her little goats placed 4th in both of their classes, so that's actually really good because this wasn't a 4-H event per se. It was, I mean, it's like sanctioned by 4-H, but it wasn't like as a requirement of her project. It was just a regular old goat show. So it was hot, very hot, and being on cold medicine. I know you guys all can sympathize with heat and cold medicine. And then Sunday was the archery county shoot. And she placed, and from what I understand, she does get to go to state, so woohoo. So it'll be the first time since 2019 that she's been to state on with shooting, because 2020, obviously, they didn't really have fair. And 2021, the county shoot happened to be on a goat show day. So she had to make a choice between archery and the goat show. And she made the choice for goat show. So yeah, we're pretty excited. So that'll happen in August. I'll let you know how she does then. So yeah, and then back to COVID, well, and my work schedule is ever evolving. So yeah, they let one of the ladies at work go, which meant that I needed to kind of fill in her shift until we found like a replacement. We have since found a replacement, but then work changed a bunch of ways that they do some stuff. And so then that leads to there's too much work to do for one person on Sundays. So now my schedule is changing to Sunday through Wednesday. I mean, the bonus of that is that I get 3 days off in a row. The downside to that is I no longer have Sundays off. But I mean, I kind of knew that that would end in August anyways, which, I mean, we are like right after fair and stuff anyways. So it was a little sooner. I'm still going to be able to get that time off, but just, you know, just life changes. So that is also going to put a little bit of a wrench in the scheduling for the Christmas challenge. It shouldn't be too bad, but I mean, there could be a delay, just telling you ahead of time. I hope not. I have some ideas, and I am in fact going to record one of the videos for it, kind of giving an update of where it's at, and kind of, I usually try to give you like a grand opening, so to speak, of a video to where you kind of know what to anticipate through the weeks of the challenge. And I think It's not set in stone yet, but I think we're going to work more with like book pages and recyclable products right now, for a couple of reasons. One main reason being is that, I don't know about you guys, but you know, finances are kind of really tight right now. And I would really love to continue to have fun, but I'm going to have to look for more affordable ways of crafting, right? And I think a lot of us are kind of in that boat right now too. So, and who really likes spending a ton of money on crafting anyways, right? I mean, some people do. I mean, and that's okay if you do, but part of the name is junk journal. So if you're not using junk on your journals, then it kind of just becomes journaling, right? So yeah, I think I've come up with a couple of different ideas. And again, some of these videos may be a little bit different than what you're used to seeing in the challenge. And I will probably record some prep work because I want you guys to be as prepared as possible for the challenge, so that when I start making the projects, you guys are hitting the ground running with me. So stay tuned for that. That will probably be this weekend. I will get, or like Friday, because since it's a transition week for me, going from one schedule to another, I'll have Friday and Saturday off this week, but not Sunday like I'm used to. So that said, maybe I can get some more videos filmed on Friday. Saturday I have a goat or a rabbit clinic, because I'm still, at least for this year, the superintendent for the rabbits. And then Saturday I have a clinic. Well, yeah, that's what I was just saying. Anyways, Saturday I have a clinic for tattooing. I got to get our little bunnies tattooed all up for fair. So yeah, I mean, hopefully, you know, and I'm gonna have to put us on hold for a second. Hold on. All right, apparently the puppy is now starting to like bark at helicopters, which is going to be very interesting because we're kind of like right in the way of or in the flight pattern of Flight for Life out here. So yeah, that'll be interesting. Yeah, they pick up all kinds of weird habits, right? Anyways, let's see, where was I at? So yeah, back to the challenge. So yes, it's gonna happen. It's gonna be formatted just a tad different than what you're used to seeing. I don't know how different yet until I start filming. But you guys, I'll just take you along through most of the planning process probably this year. So yeah. All right, so there's that. And then what I did with the inside is I went ahead and cut a couple of cards. I've been cutting them at 3.5 by 2.25. So I'll cut them out of some of these scraps for these two pockets, and then this one, I don't think that I have enough out of this one. Oh, it might actually be just about perfect. So yeah, so I'll cut it at 3.5 lengthwise here, and then we'll have a little bit of a scrap. And then I think we're gonna do like a huge like cleanup. like leftover cleanup here. And I'm gonna call that good. And we're just gonna, so that I'm not wasting a bunch more. Just 3.5 here. So it'll be, oops, almost cut my finger. Ooh, be careful. Be careful with that, guys. And then I've just been using my little quarter rounder here. So, and I haven't really worried about the whole card in the back yet, because I do still have those big journaling cards that came in that, or at least one of them I think I have. So I was thinking stuff like that could kind of fit in the back of those. Oh, so anyways, back to the COVID thing. I think I had a variant of the COVID thing, because I didn't really get as sick as a lot of people did. I got like tired, and I got like almost like a severe head cold, but nothing that Dayquil didn't like knock right out. I mean, I was kind of irritated. I had made it 30 months without getting COVID. But now I've had it. And I never lost my sense of taste or smell. I did, however, the Wednesday and Thursday of the of that whole experience. So what would that have been? It would have been July like 6th and 7th maybe, or 7th and 8th. I did have, it tasted like somebody poured a pound of salt on all my food, and it didn't matter whether it had been salted previously or not. It all just tasted like salt. So there was that. Other than that, you know, like I said, it was like a bad head cold. Oops. And I bent that up. And I'm not going to worry about closures on these. Eventually, if we decide we want one, then we'll just take some of the scraps, kind of do that, and just have a flap coming up, or, you know, whatever. But it generally doesn't, in my experience, they don't usually go anywhere when they're in the journal. All right, guys, thank you for joining me, and welcome back, and I will just talk to you in the next video. All right, bye, guys.